The Spanish announce table.
What's up, bitch ass? It is episode 331 of the Spanish announce table. Tom is over there. We're ready to talk about some violence from what I hear.
Oh, ball sacks, I tell you what a great night of blood and guts. And we had an awesome week of violence all across the board. We had a goddamn hockey fight that had 100 combined penalty minutes from fighting in the first period. It was a violent time in America.
Like from the puck
and
drop.
I'm here for it.
Well, no,
yeah.
It was like from the
puck
drop.
The first second. I think it was the Capitals and Rangers. Again, I don't fact check here. Violence was in the air, and I am here for it. I love it.
You think they heard about the blood and guts, so they were like, we'll show them violence.
Yeah.
Show them violence.
Maybe. I wouldn't be shocked. We had 3 coaches for the Kansas City Royals get kicked out of the game. In one game, we had 3 coaches get kicked out of
the fucking
fuck him.
Official said he guessed. Like,
yeah. Fuck that guy, too. So, again, it was violence in the air, and I was here for it because I love violence. Tim, last night was blood and guts. And before we do our breakdown, as always, what was your overall thought of Blood and Guts, AEW's Dynamite's special presentation?
I think the Blood and Guts match was amazing, and there was some good stuff throughout the rest of the show, albeit I wouldn't call it their best special event show in lieu of a Dynamite.
I think it had a pay-per-view feel. Right from the jump. And we can get into our breakdown here in just a moment. But I will say it had a pay-per-view feel that got me anticipating each moment in each segment. And that's rare, especially as a jaded, grouch wrestling fan like I am. I was legitimately excited going into the main event. I would also say that the theme was really good, and I like to say, tonight I'm watching Blood and Guts, and people are like, what? And TNT, tonight at 7 o'clock Central. I might give that a shot, right? I had a couple people at work say that. The thing I think I might tweak, though, and again, we'll go through our breakdown here in just a second, is if you're going to call it Blood and Guts, and I understand the match was Blood and Guts, in my opinion, I might have made the whole night not Extreme Rules, like WWE's Extreme Rules, but made, for example, the first match, no DQ. Second match, no holds barred. Third match, you know what I mean? Just have the whole night of violence, not just a regular match, and then Blood and Guts. Just do the whole night, in my opinion, if you're going to call the event Blood and Guts. But with that being said, are you ready to break this down?
Oh yes. I was over here getting some stuff set up over here on the back end of production stuff because, it takes a lot of work to make this thing come off smooth and seamless like you're seeing here. Seamless? It's debatable. But that's all the more reason you should go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net and hit that donate button or maybe the merch button, buy some stuff while you're at it, But, we should absolutely 100% get into some AEW Dynamite. Tom, I'm excited. Blood and Guts. Let's break it down.
Yeah, well, you had mentioned about production values, and by the end of this show, we might be talking about that because that's maybe one of my hot takes. But before we get there, we had, kicking off the show, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, the 2 best guys in all of pro wrestling, in my opinion, right now, just hitting home runs each and every segment they're in, taking on, in a tag team match, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega, and MT Nakazawa, or Nakayama, whatever the hell his name is. This
Marshall.
Was fun. Yeah, Cutie Marshall's guy, I think. This was fun. Moxley and Kingston get the win, but what did you think of this match as we kicked off Blood and Guts?
I kind of like the swerve. I thought they legit were going to throw him to the wolves and not have Kenny Omega and just drip that heat on him. So when he came out, I was like, they got me. They got me. That was a good one.
Yeah, so Don Callis says, hey, Kenny Omega can't make it tonight, so sorry. So Nakazawa, he's going to take care of you guys. So, good luck, Michael, or MT, whatever we're calling him. And Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, to their credit, walked out going something's up. Something's up. Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley kind of looking around no, this isn't it. Well, it wasn't, because then Kenny Omega with the championship belt knocks him over the head, and then we start the match. Again, Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston get the victory, but post-match we get the Young Bucks and, again, the Good Brothers, who... Why is it Jurassic Express trying to take them out? Now, I understand Jurassic Express had a match later on in the night, but even, I've always wanted Butcher and the Blade to be that for hire mercenary where they just go through and like, I don't care if he's a good guy or bad guy. I'll take out Jon Moxley.
Why is it Matt Hardy pissed these guys and like sicking those guys on them?
You know what I would do in this case? Like, I thought of this as a good storyline, and hashtag tweet the table and let me know what you think. But why wouldn't, if you made Butcher and the Blade this for hire mercenary tag team, why wouldn't Tony Khan say, hey, here's $100,000. I don't want those Good Brothers on my show. And Butcher and the Blade is going to take out the Good Brothers anytime we get them on camera. Like, that's what I would do. Anyhow, we do get the Young Bucks taking out Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley. Looks like at the next pay-per-view, maybe that's where we're going, which I'm not mad at.
I'm not mad at that either. I mean, that should be a good fit. And again, it's more Moxley and Kingston is good. And of course, we don't need to give them world tag team titles or anything. So a good feud where they just get to bloody somebody up and give us some promos and stuff is always fun. You know what I mean? So the more we can kind of get them involved in something that's maybe not the main event, should be fine.
Yeah, I think this is a good holding pattern. As mentioned a few times on this podcast, we're big fans of the tag team. They work well together. They seem like good friends that have checkered past, both together and separate. So it fits for them to be working together, especially in this capacity. We're still paying off from the barbed wire explosive death match where Eddie came to save Jon Moxley. So I like that. And honestly, the Young Bucks really are kind of spinning their wheels. I know next week we have them taking on SCU. I think everyone's kind of predicting SCU will lose that. Now, who knows, right? AEW can throw us curveballs from time to time. Spoiler alert, as we're recapping, SCU will take on the Young Bucks. But anyhow, I think going towards a pay-per-view to get, all the shit in, as they say, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston obviously need to be on this pay-per-view. So with the Young Bucks, I think will be a good fit. It'll be an interesting stylistic match too, because I don't know how Eddie Kingston, who obviously has independent pro wrestling mileage, 10 miles long, I don't know how he's going to mesh with a Young Buck style, but I'm excited to see it. Same with Jon Moxley as well. But anyhow, we got that. And then next up, we got an okay match. I'll say that. It was an okay match. But up next, we had Cody Rhodes taking on quad and triceps Marshall. And this happened. What'd you think?
Yeah, QuadTrac Marbles was, look, he's not bad, right? We've never come out and been like, quality time, Marcel is a bad wrestler. He sucks. We've just said, like, he's not giving us any reason to, like, attach onto something. There was a little spark when he broke out with this factory thing, but they haven't done anything with it. Like I said, it's just erupted into brawls, and it's just, we don't like Cody, but they've given us no reason to also not like Cody, or even shown us that, like, Cody, nobody should not like Cody, right? I could be like, yeah, I can see why you fucking. So there's just no real attachment to it.
Yeah, and this was an okay match. This is where, as I started off the podcast talking about how I wish it was all blood and guts, there was one moment that didn't make sense. Actually, two moments off the top of my head that didn't make sense. And it was one, at the very start of the match, towards like the first couple minutes, Cody takes off his weight belt, and he's going to hit QT over the back with his weight belt. And the ref goes, no, can't let that happen. So he takes the weight belt away from him. And then the ref is just looking at QuadTrac, and QuadTrac takes his own fucking weight belt, and he hits Cody with the weight belt, and we're just fine with it. Now I understand, hey, this is a blood feud, as they say, so we're going to, push the rules, from time to time, but that seemed weird, right? Now your ref just kind of looks like an idiot, in my opinion. And then the second thing, Arn Anderson, who, again, I love Arn Anderson. I think he's awesome. Think he's great. But he just outright just takes QT's face and just puts it in a guardrail or into the post. And just like, and we're like, what the fuck? Now he does get told to go to the back, right? But I was just like, might as well make this a no DQ. Then those things don't really stick out like a sore thumb. And Cody again gets his victory, does the figure 4 because, as he mentioned in the exhibition match, he wasn't gonna break his leg, but apparently in this blood feud match he was gonna do that. So he puts on the figure 4. QT taps out, and then we get to the fun stuff. Anthony Ogogo gives him a "How's your father?" Gives Cody a "How's your father?" right to the gut, and then we're getting into a little bit of the if it ain't America, it ain't good kind of storyline. And we get Anthony Ogogo putting the Union Jack over Cody Rhodes. So it looks like at the next pay-per-view, it's going to be Anthony Ogogo, evil Englishman, because those evil Englishmen, taking on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So what do you think about that?
I think Cody lets him get one over on him. He gets the "How's your father?" and shits blood and right there in the middle of the ring.
You think Anthony Ogogo is going to come out on top in this?
I think maybe. I mean, there will be some shenanigans that lead to him being able to easily hit the "How's your father?" once or twice. Maybe they hold Cody and he gives him like 3 or 4 "How's your fathers?" and then Cody shits right there. There's blood and guts again right there in the middle of the ring. Is that too terse? Was that a little blue?
No, I like it.
Yeah, all right. I was like, Tom looked a little taken aback by that one. I think I could see a situation. I could also, of course, see where Cody's the fucking greatest thing ever. He's Super Cena. So,
well, and so this is where I think Cody's in a tough situation here, where it feels like, to his credit, and again, AEW's been around for about a cup of coffee, right? I don't think even 2 years yet. But in the history of AEW, Cody has been putting over MJF. He did, he lost to Jericho in the championship match, so now he can't challenge for the AEW championship, right? That's fine. Then he puts over MJF, and MJF is the next big thing. Okay, great. Now he does get one over on QT here, but it's a hard spot for Anthony Ogogo to say, like, I'm the man, and Cody just in this purgatory of like, well, I put over the young talent, but I'm also still good, right, everyone? Hey, I know I lost to Darby Allin, but don't remember that. I know I lost to MJF, but don't remember that. I'm Cody. And it's like, well, your win-loss record would tell me, not really. So it's just a difficult spot for Anthony Ogogo's first, hey, check me out, I'm the next big thing here in AEW, because of how Cody is positioned in the company. So I'm interested in that aspect. I do think it's interesting, though, that we are finally going with if it ain't America, it ain't good storyline in AEW. That is a tried and true storyline across all promotions, independents to WWE. And so here we are with our first one from AEW.
Love our British fans here in the Table Nation. We love you. We love all you Brits. So don't take this to heart, but the average American wrestling fan was, bring that Union Jack around. We're gonna
here at Table Nation, we do not believe in borders. Wherever you're from, as long as you're a human and you treat other humans well, you are welcome.
Everyone
to the
has a seat at the Table Nation, right?
Everyone has a seat at the Table Nation,
except Trump. Fuck that guy.
Well, yeah, but fuck him. Anyhow, after we get the Cody Rhodes victory, and then he gets the "How's your father?" from Anthony Ogogo, we hear from Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And what did you think about this before we get into some details?
I think, without spoiling some stuff later, I think Darby Allin will soon not have this title on his hands, freeing him up for a Sting and Son versus this tag team.
Oh, you think we're doing another tag team with Sting?
Well, I just think this is where that storyline's heading, and then eventually we'll get a match between them. But, I think this is...
That's interesting.
Yep, I think we're going to do that, and then I think something will happen. It'll help get over Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They'll do something brutal. They'll blame each other, Sting and Darby, and then it'll the father-son showdown.
See, I didn't even think about that as far as we're leading to a tag match, because Scorpio Sky only addressed Sting. He said, Sting, I took you out of action. I'm going to take you out of action. You're not an icon. It's my time. You know, all the tried and true heel things to say for an established legend that you're going to feud with. But he didn't mention Darby Allin. And then when Ethan Page took the microphone, he didn't say a thing about Sting. It was just, Darby Allin, we have a history. You know our history. I fucked you up a lot. I did kind of get a little sad how Ethan Page said we had like a dozen matches, but no one ever saw him. I was like, I watched Evolve. I liked your Evolve. Now I like Evolve.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that was just me being a Evolve homer, I guess you could say. But what I was trying to say here is Ethan Page didn't talk about Sting. Scorpio Sky didn't talk about Darby Allin. So I felt like it was just, hey, we were a tag team for this long, but now like we got each other's backs, but we got our own missions. Like I'm going down this lane and he's going down this lane and we're going to see what happens. So as Ethan Page is talking shit on Darby Allin just goes like, I'm a psychotic asshole. Watch this motherfucker. And he just tries to attack him and he's just doing all his little fun fists and kicks and does a coffin drop. And then good Christ, Ethan Page said, you know what I love in pro wrestling? Ethan Page said, hey, you know what my favorite moment in pro wrestling is? Is when Brock Lesnar threw that one-legged kid down those stairs. I'm fucking doing that to Darby Allin. Jesus Christ, he threw his ass fucking 20 feet.
Yeah, he gave Darby Allin the biggest, since the beginning of this show, the biggest, see ya, right down the goddamn steps, man. Says, see ya, motherfucker. And just, man, I'm surprised. Every little bit of Darby, like, holding his arm, I was like, yeah, he probably broke it. He probably fucking popped that shoulder out of place. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this towards the end of the show as kind of we recap everything. But I do want to mention that, bumps was the topic of the night, it felt like, with AEW. And what the fuck if, I'm for all protecting everyone, but Darby Allin yet again has this weird death wish where he's like, no, we're going to do it as legit as possible. And it's 2021. We understand concussions, not fully, but we're understanding it more and more each day. We're understanding injuries to elbows and sternums and knees and things like that. You don't need to do that. We can shoot things. And again, we'll get to that in the main event of how camera work can be done properly. But we can do this to where we shoot a wide angle. We see Ethan Page throw him down the stairs, but we don't have to see Darby Allin fall down the fucking stairs. We could do the wide shot, the side wide shot of Ethan Page throwing Darby Allin, and then do the shot looking down the stairs, and he's doing the broke my leg, broke my arm. Like, watching back ECW is insane. Cheese graters to the head, tables on fire, and that's fun now, because we know for the most part, Spike Dudley is okay. Bubba Ray Dudley is okay. Now they might have some other issues, drug related, right? But like physically, they didn't die. I don't know that we need to be doing the Darby Allin sets himself on fire on Dynamite kind of spots because it's not needed anymore. We know we're watching a TV show. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was interesting to see that Sting was not there though.
True, yeah. There was no, Sting didn't come out and try to save him or anything like that, so that was fun.
Scorpio Sky did mention that he took him out of action, which I thought was kind of funny because what action was he in? He did one match, but anyhow, thought that was cute. After,
it was cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was cute.
Yeah, like a cutie Marshall.
Like a cutie Marcel.
After that, we got
Quality
a really
time
quick...
Marsupial. That's our fucking favorite guy.
Favorite guy. Oh, and damn it, because we're doing the blood and guts. Cutie, again, we had you set. Shit, Tim.
I was supposed to call him and get him on the show.
Well, we started a little late, so things happen. Cutie, we'll get you on next week. We'll let you rest up. You had a great match. We'll let you talk to Anthony Agogo, get your game plan going. Plan for next week there, Cutie.
Cutie Marbles, our number one fan.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening, as always, and retweeting us all the times you have. But let's get back to blood and guts here. We had a quick squash match from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She took out Julia Hart in what felt like maybe 35 seconds. What'd you think here?
Interesting choice for a night. Now, maybe they were like, hey, we want to feature, the doctor, but we're not going to give you 20 minutes. We don't got the time. But, yeah, it was an interesting choice for a squash match.
Well, so this is where I was alluding to earlier, where it felt like a pay-per-view where AEW was saying, you want to know who we're getting behind? We're getting behind Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega. We'll get to a couple of other people later on, but Britt Baker is the face of our women's division. We're just going to show you her because we have that much, stock into what she's going to be in the future. Now, again, she has her title match coming up at the next pay-per-view against Shida. All signs are pointing towards Britt Baker's got the rocket strapped to her back and she's about to go to the moon. I'm curious to see, as people's opinion change on Britt Baker, and we're seeing more t-shirts and we're seeing a little bit more of the DMD kind of stuff on social media and in the crowd, where does Shida go? Are we doing maybe essentially, to a lesser extent, but a WrestleMania 13 Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, where one goes in as a babyface, but then they leave a heel, and the other one goes as a heel and leaves as a babyface?
I mean, I wouldn't hate that either because, yeah, if Shida just loses and, Britt Baker is the champ and Shida's just still Shida, like, hey, remember I was the greatest champ? We're going to shit all over that. We're not going to like that.
And to AEW's credit, they usually keep things in mind for characters. And I feel like if anyone was in Shida's boots right now, they would be feeling, hey, Britt Baker had one cool match against a girl that I beat in Thunder Rosa. You motherfuckers need to be paying attention to me. I'm beating Nyla Rose. I'm beating Tay Conti. I beat Britt Baker before. The first time she had a bloody nose t-shirt was because of me. Like, I'm the shit. Look at my belt. Look at my title reign. You motherfuckers need to put respect on my name. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited, hopefully, that Shida gets a little fire under her belly or fire under her feet or whatever the fucking phrase is there. And she says, no, Britt Baker isn't the fucking main woman here. I am. I got the title.
Yeah. Anything would be better than whatever Shida's doing now. I'm just kind of done with it. It's gotten dull. There's really no stories being told. So,
well, and that's the thing. She needs a new chapter in her character. And I think her getting jealous or envious or mad, whatever you want to call that, about Britt Baker's attention needs to be what's told. But we digress. We'll see what happens as we lead into the next pay-per-view. But what we did get next was a 4-way tag team eliminator match. We had SCU, Jurassic Express, Varsity Blondes, and the Acclaimed. SCU picks up the victory, kind of as expected, but this was still fun. What did you think, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, that was expected, but I also don't mind it. Like, SCU, it's weird how they come out and do the same shtick, but yet you're still kind of like, all right, I can get behind it. They're good. They're not trying to be something they're not. They are always just there, and you can plug and play with anything. They can work any style. They still look like $1 million, even though they're 84 years old each, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So it works. And I'm like, okay. And you know what? I honestly could even still see, I know we're all like, all right, this is it. They're going to lose to the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are going to shit all over them, and then they'll end the tag team. But I could honestly see where they win and get another run and then lose it. You know what I mean? Because the Young Bucks could get screwed out of something, and then that becomes the Elites, fuck you, Moxley and Kingston, and right? Like, I mean, so I won't go into whatever event that is 100% sure outside of the evolving story that ensues. But right now I'm not 100% sure that they're losing when they get their title match. I could see them winning it.
That's an interesting
I can see them giving them a legacy run.
I like that. They were the first ever tag team champs, although I think that was Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, not Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, they did run with that, I think, as opposed to this Daniels Kazarian, which is they are the Addiction, they are the whatever they've been called before. They were the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, right? With Robert Roode. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've provided a lot of entertaining television, even in TNA and stuff, like when they would dress up like the Dumb and Dumber guys and stuff like that. I mean, these guys they're not even I'd put them at solidly better than average.
Yeah, I definitely would say that as well. Again, though, with the mileage, as you mentioned, because I believe they are 92 years old. Don't know how long they want to do that, but they definitely can.
Oh, sure, but it could be like a 2 month, you know what I mean,
Definitely.
or 1 month, you know what I mean, just something to be like, look at our dicks, right? I think that's what they'd say.
That'd be interesting. I don't know if I would, but it would be captivating.
Yeah, but you're not them.
I am not them.
Right.
That is true.
Yep.
You're
not 132 years old, so you're not them.
I am not. Although I think Luchasaurus may be a little older than them.
It's funny because
so
we're
we'll
probably
see.
like the same age, and like
No,
they're a little. Well, Kazarian, I might be the same age as Kazarian. He might be a little older.
No, he's like 66.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, he is. I just fact checked it. He's 432 years old.
Wow, couple years younger than Luchasaurus.
Yes,
Credit to him.
Yes,
I thought this was a good match. Going back to Blood and Guts here, I thought it was a good match to get us to the point where we need to be. It's difficult to say, let's hypothetically say we're going to do the chalk thing of SCU loses and they break up. It would feel very deflating if it would have happened in a 4-way eliminator match where they didn't even get pinned, right? So we have to get them to the title match. But what AEW does really well is wins and losses matter, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But wins and losses matter, so they have to win to get to the title match. So even though I think as most of us kind of went into this match saying like SCU will win, it made the logical sense to have them win to get to the spot where they need to be. I will say post-match, the two teams, though, that I want to see maybe even going up against each other, I would not be mad at, is Jurassic Express because, duh, they're fucking great, and The Acclaimed. The Acclaimed, eventually Max Caster has to come out with some type of Spotify playlist or something where these rhymes need to be released. He's good.
He's got a line every week, at least one, if not two, that I'm like, woo, that's good. Like that would be good in any rap song. Like it's current, it's funny and or poignant, like, and it's not like weak song. Like it's always something that hits. It's like, God damn, if somebody said that to you, you'd be like, hey, you fucking say that again, and I might give you the How's Your Father.
Well, the two things that I thought that stood out to me, at least in this rap, was pointing out that Brian Pillman Jr. is just going to be on Dark Side of the Ring in 10 years. Good Christ. Yeah. Also poignant because Dark Side of the Ring starts with Brian Pillman's episode. And then...
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, boy, you know he had to be like, hey, man, you're really cool with me saying
that? I'm going to say this.
Please, dude.
I don't want you to jump out of the ring to fight me.
If there's anything, like, I won't. Like, please fucking let me know. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's like, fuck this guy. See what he does.
Brian Pillman Jr. seems like he's the type of guy that might choke you in your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
He does seem like, yeah.
He seems like a guy that has a lot of breaking and injuries.
And, like, leave your body there and lay next to it for, like, the next 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah, he definitely had an MIP growing
in his
up.
trailer.
You know what I mean? He's seen some things. He's seen some things.
Yeah, he's
but
been
the
to
other
some,
line,
like, been to some weird parties. We'll say that.
Yeah. Yes. Very accurately, most likely described. The other line, though, that I liked is how he said, the young cucks. And then he goes, yeah, I said it. Yeah, yes. I said it.
God, that was great. Yeah, that was a good one, too. I forgot about that. God, the young cucks. And then, he was just like, what? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I said it. And I think that needs to be, because like you mentioned, every week it's some pop culture reference where he talks about Lady Gaga's dog catcher getting shot or whatever. You know, this week was the Dark Side of the Ring and the young cucks. I think his tagline needs to be at the end of all of these, like, yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Like if he just needs that. And I would get
hashtag yeah, I said it would be fucking great.
Yeah,
I'd buy a shirt that said, yeah, I said it. Because I've done that before. I remember being in, all right, K-State fan, right? We've covered this on the show, right? Good old Kansas State football, right? So we go to a Kansas State football game, and we're playing Texas. And me and my buddies get tickets late, right? We show up to the thing, scalp some tickets. We're on the Texas fan side, even though it's a home game in Kansas State. We're like, ugh, this is going to kind of suck, but whatever. Now it's a 6:30 p.m. game, and we got there about 9:30 and started drinking because that's what you do, right? You tailgate, and I was pretty hammered, and I'm sitting in the thing, and it's not going so well at the moment, and I remember looking out, I went, fuck Texas! And a 10,000 orange clad, looks like back now. Yeah, I said it. My friend's like, all right, we're fucking out of here. Let's go. So yeah, I said it. It's something everybody can get behind. That would be fucking amazing.
And I think he just needs to add that to his raps at the very end. And it can be used in different tones. It could be used, the young cucks, yeah, I said it, or just the drop the mic, yeah, I said it.
And the hype dude, whatever his fucking name is, like, he can even be like, yeah, he fucking said that. You know what I mean? Or just whatever. Be like, he said that. You know what I mean? Like, even he gets a little spin off of it.
Yeah, something. I just think that would be a good gimmick to go with because it's catchy, it's easy.
He could always be like,
you said,
he did say that.
Right, yeah, he did say, like,
he
yeah.
did say that.
He's like, yeah, I said it. And then he just walks behind and goes, he did say it.
Did say
and you could do that in promos, right? Where, like, Hangman gets pissed at him and he storms into the locker room and Max Caster's like, yeah, I said it. And there's a pull apart and there's, people all like that. And then they kind of all separate out of the locker room. And then the little guy, who's probably not that little, but the little guy is like, yeah, he said it.
He did say that.
And then that's the end of the segment. Yeah, that would be very fun.
Yeah, because then even people would just be like, yeah, we know he fucking said it. Like, Jesus Christ.
Or if people have a beef with Max Caster and they can't find him, and let's say it's Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston goes to this guy and was like, hey, did Max Caster call me a blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yeah,
he did say that.
He said it.
And then we get Booker T to show up on a special guest. And he can be like, tell me. Right?
You did. Yes.
Yes. Right?
That is a great idea.
You didn't just say that. Come on.
Yes.
Come on. It's tailor-made. Book it. Somebody get him this clip.
Yeah. Clip this. Send it to Booker T and Max Caster and the other guy. I'm so sorry we don't remember your name. I think he's a good wrestler.
It's QT Marshall.
Cutie.
That's not it. I always get that guy's name wrong. Damn it.
That guy.
No, Cutie's
really
the guy
good.
who likes us.
Yeah.
Big fan. This guy's somebody else. I keep forgetting his name. He's awesome. I'm not forgetting his name, but it's just Max Caster. You go like, oh. And the Acclaimed is cool. I like it that it's, I like the dynamic duo, if you will, of having it be a duo. But yeah, I think we need to pump him up a little more. We need to give him something. We need to give him that little extra tagline off of Max's tagline. Because it could still be the like, you're just coming off your buddy. You're just hyping him up and you're getting by on it. But that could even be part of the story,
And they did a good profile to show you that I do like this guy a lot. And again, we're not fact checking, so I'm not going to look it up. Maybe I will. But they did a good profile on the tag team, specifically him with Big Show on Dark Elevation, where they talked about how he's the first, not first, but he is an openly gay pro wrestler and what he means to the LGBT community. So it's like, I like that guy. Now that could maybe be his real story once we get through the fun, games of a rap gimmick, but I got to look up his name. I feel so bad. It's the Acclaimed. What the fuck?
The Acclaimed hype dude. Yeah.
Oh man.
The magic of radio right here.
Right here. Yeah. We are not.
So what I will say, Thomas, while you're looking that up, the reason I can't clip this later and say the magic of radio is because we're live, brother. This has been going live stream to YouTube. Heads up. I didn't tell Tom this. Surprise.
Hey,
seems like it's going well. So let us know how that goes. If you like it, we'll keep doing it.
Anthony Bowens.
Anthony Bowens. It's Anthony Bowens. You know Anthony Bowens.
He's great. Like I said, I like him a lot. I think he has a good look. His moveset is really fun. Hype man for Max Caster.
Write down Anthony Bowens.
Anthony Bowens.
And he is good. And I feel like an ass now for you know what I mean? Like we're not trying to shit on him by saying the hype man. I mean, that is the role he's playing.
That is
But
the
Anthony
role.
Bowens is playing it well. But I think I want to see more out of him. I want him to add a little more. We've likened them to DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince from the old rap days and their TV show. And I think that's perfect. Jazzy Jeff had a little more than I think what they're giving Anthony Bowens here. Love that guy. So yeah, I think a little more for him would be great.
Yes, definitely. But after this match was over, I was thinking to myself, the contrast of modern day, hip hop or whatever we want to call it, modern day cool in the Acclaim versus gimmicky, fun, Jurassic Express nerds hanging out playing Dungeons and Dragons. Just the combination of those two teams running into each other, I think we could have some fun there. Also being said, Varsity Blondes. I know they were the odd man out in this 4-way tag, that they were the ones that took the pin. I think it was actually Brian Pillman Jr., which, what the fuck, right? Couldn't have done it to the other guy.
Right.
The other guy, the tall guy.
Griff guy.
I don't
Griff
know
Garrison.
Is that it?
I think that's it, right? Griff Garrison? The guy with Brian Pillman?
Yeah,
Varsity
Brian
Blondes?
Pillman
I think it's
Jr.
Griff Garrison.
Okay. You could have said any name.
Harrison? It's Garrison. I think it's GG, so it's Griff Garrison.
You literally could have said it. You could have said Anthony Bowens, and I might have believed you.
QT Marshall?
Maybe. But I think they have some good development. I think they need to identify a little bit more of who they are, because we got Brian Pillman Jr. in the classic retro Brian Pillman trunks. Griff Garrison is kind of hanging out, but they're the Varsity Blondes.
I think that's
right?
it.
And I know that the Hollywood Blondes was Brian Pillman Jr. and Steve Austin. And I know that Griff Garrison is the Varsity whatever he was, right? So we're combining the two names, which is fine. But what is that? What is, like,
yeah, they
I
have
don't know
not
what the
dug into
Varsity
that. And
Blondes are.
so on like Dark and Dark Elevation, they're doing a great job with this wingman faction, right? Of the Ziggler's brother, Ryan Nemeth, the Chaz
JD
Bono
Drake.
guy, right? JD Drake, whatever what is the other guy's name? The tall dude?
Benoni.
Cesar Benoni, yeah. And then they even brought in Pretty Peter Avalon into the mix, which is good addition.
Pinky's in. Hey.
Yeah, he said touch fingers with it, or what he said, get your fingers in here and touch it, or something.
Yeah.
I forget what he said. Like,
But
he said get your fingers in here and jam them in with your friends.
yeah. But Pinky's in.
So like they're doing great, but like we should get more of that also with these Varsity Blondes. Like, I mean, what I need to see these guys at like rally parties and shit or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although it's weird. Like, are you guys high schoolers? Like, it's a little different.
But
maybe.
what is
I
it?
don't know.
That's
it didn't
what I'm
work with
saying.
that Jesse guy in TNA who they like broke his, the DJZ broke his neck and yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pinky's in. Come on, Tim.
Yeah, Pinky's in. Pinky's in.
Pinky's
Right there. Yeah. He said, get your fingers in here and jam them in with your friends or something. I forget what he said, but it was like a, ooh, yeah, okay. I see what you did.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. All right.
They need
So
a
let's
name.
get-
What's the name for that group? Is it the Wingmen? It should be the Wingmen. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm okay
I don't
with
think
that.
that's been done, right? It fits. Anybody who says I need some wingmen is like a sleazy guy like that, right? Mm-hmm. If you're
Yeah,
labeling somebody your wingman. And now,
Yeah.
okay, I was in the Air Force. That's the term outside of that, but you know what I mean. Right.
Right. Yeah. Going out drinking. I need a wingman. That's what they're going after. Anyhow, let's get back to Blood and Guts here because we got a little sidetrack, which happens from time to time. But after the 4-way match where SCU picked up the victory, and again, next week they'll be taking on the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships. We had 2 promos. First, we had Miro coming out, and he's going to kill Darby Allin. He gets a TNT shot, and he's going to murder Darby Allin. Now, I don't think he's going to win. That's my personal opinion.
I think he is.
I see. I think they want the Ethan Page, Darby Allin TNT Championship. I think maybe Ethan Page becomes the face of the TNT network. That would not shock me. I think Miro is going to get himself suspended. I think he's going to kill Darby Allin to the point where people are like, enough, and then he's pushing refs, and then he's this unhinged psychopath.
Good call. 2 different angles, which I could see both of them happening. But I could see Miro is also the guy, but you're right. They are going with this like he's psychotic angle. But Miro is the guy you could put on Conan on TNT because he can do all of the things. He can do the funny. He can do the serious. He can do the angry. He can do the mean. So like I will never be shocked if he's strapped up with that TNT title and making the rounds and doing whatever. Although that's not exactly what it is. I keep saying that. It's not like every time you get that, like you're the guy going on all the talk shows or anything. But I don't know why not, first of all. I mean, that's tailor-made for it, but I could definitely see Miro with that. But you're right. It could be the same situation. He could destroy Darby Allin to the point of near death, and then we move on. His line was so great of the, like, when the man who isn't afraid to die meets the man who isn't afraid to kill him, or the man who doesn't mind dying meets the man who doesn't mind killing him. Well, my son was watching that, and he was like, okay, that was good, right? Like, he barely watched. Like, he was sitting there. He was like, blood and guts. I'm going to watch this blood and guts because I kept up talking up blood and guts. I explained to him. I tried to tell him before of War Games. And I don't think he ever got it. But I told him Blood and Guts, and he was like, that sounds crazy. And I was like, it is crazy. And I was like, you got to watch it. And I was like, they're going to do it on live TV. So he came down and was like, all right. So honestly, if I'm being honest, we sat down to watch Dynamite late. I fast-forwarded and watched Blood and Guts first.
Oh.
And came back and watched everything else so he could see that. But we caught this promo because I was like, what is Miro saying? Right? Let me see what Miro's saying. And God, he did not disappoint.
Yeah, so I think next week, either way, whatever happens, I think as sure as the sun comes out in July, what will definitely happen is Darby Allin isn't getting a lot of offense. He might get a coffin drop. He might get a kick to the knee, but this guy isn't going to be chain wrestling Miro. He's not going to be doing body slams or anything like that. He's going to be getting his ass kicked. There's going to be so he's going through a guardrail, I would bet. I bet you there's a table spot.
I bet he updated his will.
Yeah, he definitely should. Because I think, like, Miro, when he said that line, I know we're all in storyline, but I don't know if that's necessarily not true if we're shooting here for a second. I think Miro would kill someone because he's Miro, and he kind of seems nuts. So I think the way we go is Ethan Page, Darby Allin. That's the TNT storyline that we're going with. But Miro goes the unhinged, I'm psychotic. Maybe even Penelope Ford comes out and was like, Miro, like, what are you doing? And then we may get some intergender spot, right? Where Miro clotheslines her or power bombs her. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, I think we're going to leave that match with Miro being the like, oh shit.
Everybody's scared of Miro.
Everybody dies. I know that's Lance Archer's thing, but this is really where it's going to be coming from is Miro.
Now I'm thinking about Lance Archer and Miro facing off, and God, I want that to happen. Oh.
And that's where I was thinking that this could possibly go. Because again, you know how I like to just fantasy book and be in my own world, my own promotion. Where I would go with this is let's fast forward to next week. We're doing the match. Miro's just murdering him all around the arena, just doing anything and everything he wants to him. He even does like a 1-2, pulls his head up, I'm not done beating his ass kind of thing. And then he does a spot outside of the ring where he puts him through the table. That gets him disqualified because we can't be doing table spots in a TNT championship match. Something like that, right? But then he's like, I'm not fucking done with them. And so then the refs and all of that, and they have to like push him away. And then, you know, we get word that he gets suspended. And then you have Lance Archer come out the next week in 2 weeks. And I was like, hey, heard everyone's scared of this Miro guy. You know who's not scared of this Miro guy? Me. And
you know what, Miro? Everybody dies.
Yeah. And he goes, you're the one that thinks he can kill people? I'm the one that knows everyone dies. And then it's just unsanctioned, lights out, just like they did with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. You make that your new signature match, lights out, Lance Archer, Miro to close a Dynamite.
Oh, that'd be money. I'm down.
And imagine the promos, you know, via satellite because he's not allowed in Jacksonville from Miro, and then the retorts from Jake the Snake Roberts where he's like, oh, I've seen a dime a dozen of you. You know, you're no different than the Iron Sheik or blah blah blah, and all of that's like that would be just money. Anyhow, I'm excited for that. We also got another promo where we got an announcement that Kenny Omega will be facing the winner of next week's match between number 1 contender Pac and number 2 contender Orange Cassidy. Now, before we get into the promo, I saw some things online because apparently we care about other companies, which still I don't understand. Just be a viewer and watch your television, but whatever. But Kenny Omega came out and he was wearing the AEW championship, and Nakanuts was behind him. And he had all the other belts. And some people were saying, oh my goodness, what are we doing? How could Kenny Omega not be proud of these championships? What did you think about that spot where he's not wearing the title except for the AEW championship?
I didn't notice that. They don't walk everywhere they go. If we're real-lifing this, right? If we're kayfabe world and I'm like watching Kenny Omega, I don't expect him going to the grocery store draped in all 7 belts that he's got. If he's bringing them to the event, he's going to have his posse because that's the kind of guy he is, and some of them are going to carry his belongings. And so the one wrapped around his waist is just what he has at the moment. It's not like he's like, this is the main one. And he's on that fucking show, so maybe it is. You know what I mean? Like, hey, people are reading way too much into that. And this, like, it's a sign of disrespect. Shut up.
Well, he's a heel. That's the other
exactly,
thing.
too. Yeah, he's a heel. Yeah.
Because I would almost understand if he was Cody Rhodes. Let's say Cody Rhodes in his babyface character that he's doing right now is the belt collector. He's going through all the promotions, taking out all the evil heels from promotions like AAA and Impact Wrestling, right? It would be one thing if he's not wearing the championships, right? He's not proud of the championships. So if he was in that position, I would expect him to have one over his shoulder, one over the other shoulder, wearing the other one. Check me out. I'm the belt collector, right? But with Kenny Omega, fuck that. This isn't worth my time. I'm not carrying a AAA. What is that? A car insurance? I'm not fucking wearing that goddamn belt.
Why would I carry all of you? Like, you know how much these things weigh? I don't have to do the heavy lifting. I pay people for that.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I think, because I also saw this online as I was live tweeting at Table Show during AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts, was some people were saying, well, if he doesn't care, why is he doing it? And it brought me to the thought of back in the day when Dolph Ziggler was really on fire and he was feuding with Chris Jericho. If you remember, he did this one line where he would beat Chris Jericho in some type of competition on whatever that social media platform that they tried to push that failed. But Dolph Ziggler would be like, oh, you know, playing darts is the fifth best thing I'm good at. Like, I can kick your ass and I'm not even, this isn't even my thing. And so that's where I think Kenny Omega's coming from, where, yeah, I'm beating Rich Swann. Impact Wrestling? You guys realize how good I am? I could go to any of these promotions and do this. So it's like, he doesn't care about the championships. He just cares that, like, he needs the almost like Roman Reigns acknowledge me that I'm the fucking best. And he's going around doing it in this way. So anyhow, let's get to the promo here. It was announced that Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Winner gets Kenny Omega at the next pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. Now, Kenny Omega puts over Pac. He says, Pac's beat me in singles matches. Pac's beat me in tag matches. Pac has beat me in trios matches. Pac has beat me. That's a contender. Orange Cassidy? Fuck that guy. And Orange Cassidy, in his King of Slaw style, walks out and says, like, what? He doesn't even say anything. He just looks at him. And this was fun. What did you think about this portion of the promo?
I love it. And, I mean, that's where we're going. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kenny Omega versus Pac would be good, and they may pull that trigger sometime. But I don't think that's where they're going based on how this promo played out. I think we're getting Kenny Omega and Orange Cassidy, and I can only imagine how awesome that match is going to be. It's going to be fun.
Well, and this is what I like about AEW because, again, wins and losses matter. And what I mean by that is we went into the last few weeks thinking it's going to be Hangman Adam Page coming in on a white, horse, kicking everyone's ass of the Super Elite and taking that title, which, again, I still think is going to happen. Still do. But he lost last week. He lost as number one contender to Brian Cage, so that takes him out of being the number one contender because Pac and Orange Cassidy are winning matches. Orange Cassidy beat Pentagon the previous week, and Pac, I believe, beat Trent. So it would make sense that they're going to move up in the rankings. So I got a lot of questions for you here, Tim. One, what do we do with Hangman Adam Page?
I don't know what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, does it make him mad? Does he get pissed off saying like, wait a minute, what? Last week they're saying that these fucking dorks are getting a shot. Do you realize who I am? Does he go that route? Or does he go the, Marvez goes backstage. Hangman, what do you think about tonight's number one contenders match? Winner gets Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. He's like, oh, good. Good. I thought that was going to be me. I was not ready. No.
Or even he could pull that kind of like he did, like, hey, like there's two strong competitors and, one of them's going to deserve that. Listen, I got to go take a shit. I'm out. And then they're like, well, you didn't really, okay. And then the Dark Order stand there being goofy and they're like, okay. I could see this like Guns N' Poses, John Silver, and those guys eventually like help Hangman out of like a depression, right? Funk, and then build him back up to like, I can do this. I can get us out.
I'm a dinosaur.
And fucking and just fucking go, you know? So maybe that's the right. I would like to see that, right? Like he keeps doing the like, somebody else is getting, man, it could have been me, but you know, I always fuck up. And that kind of stuff. And then they're like, hey, don't be that way. You know, if there's one thing Brody taught us, it's whatever, you know, that. And then he's like, I am good enough. I am smart enough, right? That kind of thing.
And that would be really great storytelling, because remember the last time he had that depression or identity crisis, the Elite kicked him out. Hey, all you're doing is drinking. All you're doing is this. Fuck out of here, Hangman. You're not with us. And then now we go full circle. He's going through this same depression, and the Dark Order is like, "You're the man," and they're the wind beneath his wings to get that title from Kenny Omega. The other thing I wanted to talk about though is how great is it that a feud that we thought was going nowhere between Death Triangle and the Best Friends ends up a number one contenders match for the AEW Championship. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
You had all of these layers of Chuck and Ray Phoenix, Pentagon and Trent, you know, Orange Cassidy and Pac, all this stuff. And now it leads to a payoff from this feud where the winner of this feud goes to take on Kenny Omega. I thought that was great. That was a really low-key cool moment where it felt like it came out of nowhere, where the announcement was just like, really, those two guys? But when you start to look at it, you know, take a step back and look at it, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get So now let's get to it. All right, this is what we're here to talk about. It is the Blood and Guts match. Inner Circle taking on the Pinnacle. First thing I want to say before I get your thoughts is credit to AEW for always referring to past War Game matches as Blood and Guts matches. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, hey, he was in the first, he was in the,
Arn Anderson was in the first.
Was that supposed to
Blood
be the name of it first or something? Like, are they throwing back to like, was that intended to be the name of the match before it was turned to War Games?
Oh, I don't know. I just know that Cody went to go file the trademark, and then WWE is like, nah, we got that shit. But create your own history, right? Like,
well, so what was it? Like, why can they copy the exact, there was something about it. Like, was it Dusty that made some of it or something? Like, I can't remember. Like, there was something about that. Like, there was a legal battle over that. Not necessarily battle, but like a legal snafu somewhere in there. And I think like he was able to be like, I own this. You know what I mean? Or like, you know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember the details, but it was some legal battle breaking kayfabe of WWE Cody trying to fight over
because he's had legal
names.
issues with them too. Like he just recently was allowed to start using the Rhodes name again. Like interesting. Yeah,
it is interesting. But again, credit to the commentary team for always referring to Arn Anderson was in the first Blood and Guts match. Tully Blanchard was also in the first Blood and Guts match. So I like that.
And they never
detail.
flubbed it. Like not even that. Like you know that somebody wrote that in there, but like they never screwed it up. You didn't have Jim Ross like going like, well, I remember War Games '84. Like, God damn it, Jim.
We're calling it Blood and Guts.
Fucking Jim. God damn it.
Or Tony messes up. Oh man, so sorry guys.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Dude, hey, did you catch Tony? Something was up with him during the night though. When people were doing promos, was he mouthing the promos or something? Like he was kind of like, you got to watch the YouTube to see, but like he was kind of like, I don't know if he was out of it that night. He seemed off. He seemed a little weird, like in the like stand-up interviews and stuff.
Wouldn't shock me. He's old. I think he's 3 years younger than Kazarian.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
That's real old.
Yeah. So here it is. Blood and Guts. Inner Circle, Pinnacle. It starts off Sammy Guevara and FTR1, bald FTR. And we get right to it. I swear on
Fear the Road Game.
That is good. Yeah, right. It was. Man, it was this. So actually, let's take a step back. Let's really dissect this.
All right.
What do you think about first the Pinnacle, all white, everything coming out looking like $1 million, And then the contrast of the Inner Circle coming out in prison gears from wherever their hometown is.
They're flipped of the heel and face roles too, right? Like it's the heel should have been wearing the black and the face, but I think like that was also a point of it. Like they're kind of like the Pinnacle thinks they're right. Like they think they're the morally superior folks here, and the Inner Circle's been like, we're gonna fuck you up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know how to get dirty. And so it was fun. It was real fun.
And I tell you what, there was blood all over this match. And it started from what seemed like minute 1. We got right to it. Bald FTR is bleeding from his head. A little bit later, Sammy Guevara, I believe, is bleeding from the top of his
Somebody
forehead.
missed a spot, though. I forget what that was like, where they missed, like, the diving headbutt.
Oh, it was Sammy Guevara. Yeah, he tried to
Oh.
jump from one ring to the other, and he ate shit. Now, he also, a little bit later on in the match, when Shawn Spears gets in there, does that one ring to the other ring back Spanish fly spot. That was pretty fun.
God, that was so amazing.
And this is what one thing I really liked about the match is it felt like momentum legitimately changed when a new person came in. And obviously the Pinnacle had the advantage, but when Shawn Spears got in, the Pinnacle had the advantage. But by the time that both Santana and Ortiz got in, the Inner Circle had the advantage. And then by the time Jericho finally entered into the match, you know, the Inner Circle had the advantage for the moment. I enjoyed that they took the new person being introduced for a real momentum shift instead of just like, you know, Jake Hager takes out another member of FTR. It's like, no, he would get fucked up because now it's 3-on-2 or whatever the numbers are. I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed, you had mentioned Sammy Guevara eating shit, which he totally did, but I enjoyed the messiness of this match.
Oh yeah, it was real. It felt real. Like this was a
felt
fight.
like a fight.
Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Like to some of these guys who do like where we shit on the Young Bucks style of match because we're like, oh, they barely clip a guy or and I'm like, it's okay. Like miss once in a while. With that style, you would miss more often than not. That's the point. Is like you're gonna miss some, but you're gonna keep going and you're gonna hit them with a few of them. And that same thing here. It felt right. Like there was some miscues. There was some whatever. Like there was some trips and falls because that's what would happen. And blood is a slippery fucking substance. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, trust me. God damn it, you fucking say you trust me right now.
I trust, yeah, okay, like, whatever you want, man. You want my wallet?
Yeah.
And I also liked that, well, hold on, I'm so sorry. Going back to your point, yeah, you can't tell me it's high risk if they hit it every single time, right? A high risk move and it's 100% successful isn't high risk because you're hitting it every time.
It's pretty low risk.
It's low risk if you fucking do it 100% efficient. But the other point that I liked about this match is when guys inside the cage, you know, were getting their face just grinded on the steel cage. The guys on the outside, specifically, there was a moment where I believe it was Sammy Guevara getting his face just put up against the cage by Wardlow, and MJF is like, look at this. Do you see this? This is fucking great. I like that. That was really cool.
Yeah. I like even the Wardlow Hager showdown. They did that well. I like when everybody was in the ring, how they had them like kind of square off and everybody in the same side. That was a good spot. Yeah.
And also going back to how this was a messy fucking match, that one of the rings fell apart.
Yeah.
There was,
they started stabbing him with the damn ring post.
They stabbed him with the ring post. They took
thing.
up the mat to expose the wood. And good God, it was just blood everywhere. And I like that. This is blood and guts. I don't, you know, I listened to that Busted Up Open Radio, and Bully Ray made the point that only MJF should have bled because it was his blood that mattered the most. And, you know, you got to get the money out of it. And he called it grotesque that FTR would bleed. And I'm like, really, Bully? Did you forget your whole entire career in ECW?
That was wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong
totally
take. Wrong take.
Yeah. But it made sense that everyone would be battered and bruised and bloodied, one, because it's blood and guts, and two, because Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara hate each other. FTR and Santana Ortiz hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, it would make sense
and
they
it's
would all
sharp
be in that.
steel, and it's you know what I mean? Now, like, my son was a little upset, honestly, that there was no guts. he was like, "Oh, I mean, I understand the blood, but you said blood and guts. I want to see somebody's large intestine sitting in the ring. You know what I mean?"
Well, god dang, Santana tried to get it out of MJF, bringing that fork into the ring, taking it to his forehead and whatever.
A fucking fork! He's stabbing him in the head with a fork! I forgot about the goddamn it. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh my god, he brought out a fork! And he
licked it?
Yes, he licked it.
Licked it. The guts it took to lick that fork.
There's no telling where MJF has been, man. Like,
he looks dirty. I know he dresses nice.
He's got at least hepatitis X.
Yeah, he's walking around with syphilis. Easy. Allegedly, but 100%.
Phlegona herpesiphilates, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm talking about.
So let's get to the finish here. So we get, I believe Tully Blanchard took the keys away from one of the refs to get MJF out.
Which was good too, right? Tully gets to give somebody a "How's your father?" and get to. Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? He can't just be sitting there with his thumb on his ass. He's got to be a part of it somehow.
Wore this suit for something, goddammit.
Yeah, he's here for a reason. So he gets the keys. MJF gets out, but then, of course, Chris Jericho gets out with him. We go up to the top of the cage, and now let's break a little kayfabe here, because this is when we kind of shit the bed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. AEW shit the bed once the two guys got to the top of the cage.
Sharp turn. Everything went south for me. Even Jericho climbing up, I was like, I get it. You're slippery in your blood, and you're trying to make sure you don't fall, but like, it came across that way. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But there was, we had a poorly shot moment where Chris Jericho is obviously taking out his razor blade from his wrist that he taped up. He's holding it in one hand as he's getting arm barred from MJF, which you could just see,
Yep.
And then fast forward to
at one point I saw him giving MJF the spot, like to throw him off, like he was talking to him, and MJF had to like bend. He was like, "What did you say?" Yeah, and this is again where if you want to go back to the previous pay-per-view where the explosion that didn't happen happened. This is another thing where the talent is not at fault here, and I believe if you had the opportunity to reshoot this, you would. And in pro wrestling, you don't always have that opportunity, especially because they did this match live. But, we talk about, hey, did you hear Samoa Joe is now available? And apparently, if you're going to read the dirt sheets, Daniel Bryan's contract is expired in WWE. He might be available. I will say this. The only hiring that needs to be done on AEW or in AEW is behind the camera. Everything in front is fucking home runs. Eddie Kingston, Pac. I mean, you can go down the list. Wholesale, as weird as this sounds, I would rather, if we're going to get Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe show up somewhere at the same place, I'd rather it be Impact at this point, and let's make that place cool also.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Like, or MLW or whatever it is, but like, you would be flooding AEW, and that was the problem with WWE, and that's why you guys weren't featured as much. Somewhere else, even. I don't care. Let's get 3 shows going.
Yeah. To that point, if you bring in Bryan Danielson, what I would fear is that means less time for Sammy Guevara or Kip Sabian.
That's exactly what it would mean.
Scorpio Sky. And those are the people who I want to see because they have a brighter future.
Yeah, look, I've seen everything Bryan Danielson's going to do. Like, don't get me wrong. I know he's like, I want to go do this and I want to go do this. And yes, you may do some cool things, but it's nothing you haven't done.
Right. Exactly. Now, to my point, though, is I don't know the backstage people. Obviously, we've heard of Kevin Dunn since we were little kids because he's been around since the dawn of time in pro wrestling. But I want more producers, right? Tony Khan obviously has the money and the resources and other businesses. He needs to be taking people maybe from his soccer team that has been doing producing or whatever and bring them into AEW. Because the only things that are failing, in my opinion, for AEW, and again, we can nitpick with Young Buck things and all of that kind of stuff, but the biggest sore thumb initially was the women's division, but they've put their efforts to build that up into something respectable. But now it's the camera angles and the shots and the cuts to a different camera. Yeah. Those things are not good right now.
Yeah, so specifically like with this throw off of the thing, I wholly get him being cautious and making sure he's hitting the flat back and all of that. And I get that you're not going to have him fall on actual steel plates. And so you made him look like steel plates. But that you didn't think to also make the backside look like steel plates and maybe paint the sides gray and those kind of things, that's the amateur hour thing. Like, he's not going to land on these things and they're going to stay flat. If he did that, you'd kill him. So that's that's why you made these things, so they'll move. But you can't have the bottom of them just the foam. Like, you just gave away the whole game.
And the way it was shot was bad too.
Who was it? Vader, who stepped on the fucking rubber mallet?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what I mean? That's the same thing here. Same idea.
Yep, exactly. And this is where, you know, I know WWE, we can criticize till the moon of all the dumb things that they've done, but you can also look to some successes of what they've done. And if you knew that you were gonna do a spot where he's getting thrown off the cage, why aren't you watching how? Now, I know Mankind was like a legit throw off the cage through some bullshit, but why aren't you shooting it that way? Or when Rikishi got thrown off the cage by Undertaker in that Hell in the Cell match, you know, you shoot it wide and then you shoot it under. Like, you shoot it under to show like, oh, fuck, look how high it is. And then you shoot it wide to just like, see how far he fell? This fucking far. But you don't just follow him because, like you said, one, we're going to see the card trick here, and two, if you're not gonna paint the fucking shit, then don't show the shit. You know?
Yep.
And that's again where it's like, you get away with that when Darby Allin does it because Darby Allin wants to do it.
I will have a critique on some of the performers too, though. When they're like, okay, fine, don't throw him off, we'll surrender, which was a bad booking move to begin with. But then, like, when they did it, and he threw him off, they didn't really react the way they should have. Like, they were just kind of like, Chris. Hey, Chris, you all right? Like, no, you were like, no, don't do it. We surrender because, you know what I mean? Don't kill him. Well, then it killed him. Like, why was nobody running up there after? Why were they just like, you pointing at him like he's the WrestleMania sign? Like, that, I felt that one was a little flat.
So, yeah, let's talk about the finish. So, as you mentioned, Sammy Guevara specifically surrenders for the Inner Circle because MJF threatens to throw Chris Jericho off the top of the cage. Here's where, again, little details that I love AEW, but you could have improved on. If I paid, for example, if I was a attendee for AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts, and I'm sitting in the crowd, I don't know what the fuck is happening. You have microphones. Grab a fucking microphone or have the ref running around and putting it in these guys' mouths, not in their mouths, but up to them to say, like, do you quit? Because, you know, the only way you can win is submission or surrender. So their microphone needs to be there because Sammy Guevara is just yelling. If I'm not there, or if I'm there and I'm not watching on TV, I just go like, I don't know, the match is over? Why?
I guess it's over?
Yeah.
Well, then why'd he throw him? Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? Like, it was unclear.
Yeah, well, and then, so it all came a little more clear because the idea of, like, you surrender or submit, and I was like, wasn't that the same thing? But then I see the difference here, right? The surrender is like, okay, you're not actively making them submit to a move, but they're just like, I can't do this now. But yeah, here's where I think they could salvage some of that is maybe we get a little down the road and Sammy Guevara was in on that.
And that's what I want to talk about. Yeah. So the detail I would have fixed there is have Sammy Guevara grab the microphone to let the audience and obviously us know Inner Circle surrenders. We don't want to have Chris Jericho die. Now, I did see a still shot, but they didn't shoot this very well. But as MJF is throwing Chris Jericho off the cage, Sammy Guevara is climbing up. There is a moment where he's climbing up, Chris Jericho's falling down, and he's looking. But again, we didn't show the audience that. And I understand what we're doing here. Like, the crowd doesn't see that because he's climbing on the other side of the cage. They don't necessarily see it because it's not a clear view. Little details like that, again, where you can improve. But regardless, let's talk about that. I think we're leading to something with this. I think it was very specific that it was Sammy Guevara surrendering for the Inner Circle and not Jake Hager or Santana or Ortiz.
It would be the ultimate swerve to have him align with the Pinnacle after all of the shit that's gone down.
Or you could go into Chris Jericho goes psycho and thinks, the fuck is this kid?
Thinks that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
why is this kid calling the end of matches that I'm in? No, that never happens. He's a fucking rookie compared to me. No, you think you
why is this
you're the
quitter?
Mm-hmm.
Here you are quitting again. You quit on the Inner Circle, and now you quit the Blood and Guts match. And you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes even more into the, wait a minute. You think you make the decisions for this group? Let them fucking kill me. You guys can still beat this group.
Yeah.
You should have never quit.
Because then you can make the decisions after I'm dead, right? Like,
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting, finally, the Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara something.
I don't
know
what
what
Les Sex Gods break up.
Oh,
the Les Sex Gods explode.
Oh.
Name of your sex tape?
Hey. Maybe.
Yeah. I might name the episode Les Sex Gods Explode.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
It's going to get some clicks.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts. Overall, as I mentioned, we talked about it beforehand, but now that we've reviewed, has your opinion changed? What do you think? As we go into next week's very stacked episode where, again, we're getting Orange Cassidy versus Pac, Young Bucks, SCU.
They do a great job of doing that, right? Like, we built to this event. We're here at this event, and we're also building till next week, right? They've got that hustle, that down, right? Like, they don't just leave you going like, all right, cool, what's going to happen next week? Like, we have something to be anticipating.
Yeah, but they also leave enough to where it's like, I don't know segment for segment what we're going to do. You know what I mean? I love it. I love that next week I know 2 big matches. I mean, I believe there's even more. I think Jade Cargill is going to be interviewed, things of that nature. But yeah, to your point, it's we got to Blood and Guts. Now that you're here, make sure you stay. That's the most important thing to do as a promoter in anything, right? You go to a big UFC fight and it's Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3, but you know what you're going to see there? The match for Francis Ngannou, like the preview for Francis Ngannou next month. Like that's how you promote is you're here, stay. Like that's what you should be doing. Right. Yeah. So AEW Dynamite, another just kick-ass episode. But again, the number 1, 2, and 3 thing that they need to improve upon is behind the camera. Producers, cameramen, whatever it is, that needs to improve yesterday.
Well, Blood and Guts was amazing, and we had fun watching it. But now that we're done talking about Blood and Guts, let's talk about Piss and Vomit. And we're going to talk about the WWE NXT world. Now, I've got a couple things. I've got 4 things written down out of all of it. All of it. All of Raw, SmackDown, NXT that even slightly interest me. One doesn't even interest me. I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Why the fuck? What is the deal with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? Why are they on every fucking show? Why do they keep pushing them when everything the fans are telling them is like, we don't want this anymore? Nobody. Why are they on everything and doing nothing? They're on everything and they do nothing. Like, fuck.
That's the thing. If they're on every episode, but they're the most captivating storyline, okay, I want to see more of what they're telling me. But when everything they say is a fucking fast forward, why are we doing this more? It has to be an inside joke for Vince McMahon. It has to be him ribbing us. It has to be.
They just said they want a women tag team. I'm going to give them goddamn Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
And if they don't like it, they're obviously sexist. They hate women because I'm giving them all the women they can handle. I'm giving them Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler every fucking week on every fucking show. And it's like, no, you're not. I mean, you are, but you're not. You're an asshole. I didn't watch Raw again because the best baker in America was on, and that was a very good debut.
That's understandable. Episode. I get it.
But I did see, because I follow him on social media, to your point, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, we're still doing Nia Jax falls because it was funny that Mandy Rose fell at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what they overdo it. It's not good. Nothing they do is good, and because of it, even the thing that you think you're like, even you would think we don't necessarily like Natalya and Tamina, but we'd be like, I would get behind them getting their like, hey, here's thanks for your good work women's tag team title run over this. And they're not even giving us that. Like, they just keep stalling that. And it's like, God damn, you guys do nothing. You fucking do nothing. You don't do any fucking thing with these fucking people.
Well, and it's also just maddening because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Lana and Naomi taking on Shayna and Nia Jax for the tag team championships, right?
Yeah.
Which they lost 3 times in a row. And
right.
Again,
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that Naomi and Lana have beat anyone to become number one contenders.
That's the thing. If your tag team division, your women's tag team division was so stacked that you had to give NXT their own unique women's tag team division, then why the fuck are they wrestling the same people all the goddamn time?
Mm-hmm.
And you fire the Iconics.
Yeah.
The only real tag team you had. It's the only one. The fucking one. You got rid of it. Stupid.
All right, what's the next topic?
Speaking of breaking up tag teams, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. They fucking... Because without the Hurt Business, it's a little harder to maintain. I get it, but like, you still would have found some ways to tell some stories, because now Cedric Alexander's lost anything that he's gotten out of here. Shelty B, nobody's ever going to give a shit about. So, like, I just don't know why they pulled these triggers.
Well, you know why, Tim. Because they do a 1 in, 1 out. Right? So, RK Bro is the tag team.
God.
So you got to get rid of one.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's Cedric and then Shelton Benjamin. They only do this 1 in, 1 out. It's well, we got one team, but what are we going to do with the other one? Well, we got to break those up. Well, what if we reunited them? Well, then we got to break up the RK Bro. It's just, that's what they do because they're fucking dumb. They're fucking dumb.
It is fucking dumb.
They're dumb.
All right, well, here's something that's good. On the NXT side of thing, the Way continued this like Indi Hartwell, Dexter Lumis saga. They're sending flowers, trying to make people like fight. I like the idea of like Dexter Lumis is feared by everybody. He's creepy and he like kidnaps people and everything. But like, as we find out, like he's not really so bad. Like he's has good, honest intentions. He's a nice guy. He's just you know what I mean? He's a little off and doesn't understand what he's doing. Just like Dexter. But yet everybody, like the real mean people, are people taking advantage of that. Like your Johnny Garganos and stuff. I like this.
I really hope Indy goes babyface psycho and becomes another Dexter type character, not to where it was Fiend and Alexa Bliss and then we fucking shit the bed there, but just like
even them as a weird creepy tag team kidnap people and shit wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, because now if you look at it, the Fiend is gone and Alexa Bliss is the new Fiend, but in the women's division, so what the fuck does that matter? But what I'm saying is, though, I want to see Indy transform from the Way to a new Way and goes with Dexter. That's what I would like to see. Yeah, but yeah, I like it. And Indy and what's her ass are the new tag team champs.
Oh, they did do that, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of tag team champs.
Tag team champs. There you go. An actual tag team. Good job, NXT.
Tom, if we somehow like went viral, right, and became a thing, we would have a good chance of like showing up on Raw as like guest hosts and winning the tag team championships, because like that's just how they treat tag teams there. It's just
it's so bad.
It's not a real thing.
It's always been that way, in my opinion. Like, I know we've had little pockets
since
of greatness.
like the Demolition Rockers thing, like that was the last of it, I feel like.
No, because we had a pocket where it was Edge and Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys, APA.
Right. Yeah, there's little pockets, but that's generally the talent that comes along.
But and then it's as soon as that's over and we realize that JBL can be a good star, then we hate tag teams forever, and it's like, what the fuck? Anyhow, it's disappointing.
It is disappointing. Well, we hinted at this, but we didn't dive into this exact topic. Daniel Bryan is out of WWE. Is this real?
Yeah, I do. I think it's real, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it's hey guys, my contract's up. I'm not keeping doing this shit. Especially now that
maybe
it looks
Legends
like
contract kind of thing.
Yeah, I think now that, especially since the pandemic looks to be loosening.
You don't think he'll pull the one-offs like I'm going to show up for an AEW pay-per-view and give somebody the match, a dream match kind of a thing?
No,
I'm going
I
to show
think
up
he
at
likes-
NJPW and I'm going to show up at
Now-
ROH and give somebody a thing.
Now, where I could easily see him going for a one-off kind of thing is it's being reported, if you're believing the dirt sheets here, that MLW and WWE are going to have a working relationship. I could see him going to MLW and working with Junior Fatu.
Hold the phone.
I believe his name is. That's wrong.
Well, it's not the same. Who owns ROH right now? It's not the same guy who did when they were, right?
No.
He started. That was Sapolsky, right?
Yeah, Gabe Sapolsky.
And he did
Yeah,
Evolve.
he did Evolve, and now Gabe works for NXT.
Because I was gonna say we could get Daniel Bryanson, or Bryan Danielson, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, sure.
That fucking guy, the guy with the beard. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We get him. We get Samoa Joe. Get CM Punk. ROH. Triple main event, right? Or three-way, right? Triple threat.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
They could go anywhere, but like ROH would be the place that would be like, this is where we do it.
Hey, do a fatal four-way and put in Dak Draper. Love Dak Draper.
Love Dak Draper, but that's not fitting the point here, right?
I don't care. I want Dak Draper in there. Yeah. Daniel Bryan doesn't have a fucking point always being in
but like if they went back to ROH and did a thing.
Yeah. No, this is what I think about Daniel Bryanson, or Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever the fuck his name is.
No, I want him to be Daniel Bryanson now, right? Like, just change it, right?
That's what he is in MLW. Yeah, have him do a one-off in MLW. That's his name. But going back to
everywhere he goes, he's somewhere different, right? He's like Bryan Danielson here. He's Daniel Bryanson there. He's Bryan Danielson here. He's fucking, you know what I mean? Daniel Bryan there, like all that shit.
But what I honestly
Danny
think
Bryan somewhere else.
What I think about Daniel Bryan though is I think because the pandemic and the restrictions are starting to loosen, and I think traveling is going to be a thing. I think he looked at the contract and said, "Hey, I'm not going to go on the road each and every week with you guys. Nope, not doing that shit anymore. Still got the bad head, and I'm risking my life each and every week. So I'm going to make it count." I see Edge has a fun contract. Give me that. I want that contract. And I think he's going to get an Edge contract. Because the other thing, again, if you read the dirt sheets, like I don't, but I do see on my Twitter timeline, apparently Daniel Bryan has some influence in the writing of SmackDown. And I think he enjoys that. And now he could obviously get that at AEW or Ring of Honor, things like that. But when you're doing it for a WrestleMania, it means a little bit more than if you're doing it for,
ROH Mania.
Yeah, whatever it is, right? So I think he's going to stay, but I think he's going to stay like, if you guys are traveling, I ain't jumping on that road with you. I'm staying at home. Call me at SummerSlam.
That makes sense. Well, I guess then
let's talk about one more thing.
What's that?
I did see this. So, motherfuckers, we fire Samoa Joe, the Iconics, the other guy,
and the other
guy.
Oh no!
And we bring back Evolution, Eva Marie.
This is the quintessential, like the epitome of the issue. They are the most out of touch I think I've ever seen them be in WWE. You could have polled 100 fans and they would have said, "Don't fucking do that. Nobody wants to see her." Now, I get if you're like, "Oh, we can get some heat for it," but it's going to be the bad heat. Unless she has wildly improved and we haven't seen it, and I'm not going to discredit that could be a thing.
Okay, I am.
But motherfucker, even when you remove everything, like how do you not, like when you go, okay, well, we got rid of Samoa Joe. He was going to take a talent contract when he can't wrestle, or we won't let him wrestle. Mm-hmm. The Iconics, maybe there was something we don't know. Maybe they were trying to renegotiate. And we're like, look, I don't want to fucking pay you that much. You guys aren't important, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The visas weren't working. I don't know, right? Mm-hmm. They fucking, But then like you go, Eva Marie. That's the thing. It's like, you know what this is? This screams Total Divas needs to fucking revamp or something is what it screams.
Well, a couple of things for me that it's so infuriating. One, she's coming back as herself, like as her first character. She's not reinventing herself as a new person. She's just coming back as Eva Marie. And again, we're trying the same fucking character again. We tried this with Tenille Dashwood.
Which means
we tried it with Liv Morgan.
Not to interrupt you too much, but which means this is how out of touch they are. They think it was that she just wasn't ready to pull it off. It wasn't that. It's that we were like, fuck this. This sucks and we don't like her. But you were saying.
So it's the same character that we're still trying. It was Tenille Dashwood first, Evolution, but then she didn't feel comfortable about that apparently, and so we kicked that to the curb. Then we do Liv Morgan.
Well, she stole something, didn't she?
Yeah, I don't remember, but then Liv Morgan tries the same character, and we say now she's a lesbian with Lana. So then we flip the script on that, and then go back to the Riot Squad, and now we're doing it with Eva Marie. I wouldn't even be mad, honestly, Tim. I would not be mad is if they brought her in the Sonya Deville role where she's feuding with Adam Pearce. If you're just going to say, hey, Eva Marie's back, but she's in a power position.
I'd prefer to even this. Lean into what I just said. Like, this screams of like it's only Total Divas and you only want her for the modeling. Like, lean into that. Have her basically be like, I'm only here to I'm going to be on reality TV in no time. So fuck you. And like, you know what I mean? Have her suck at wrestling, but find a way to get over, have her get somebody who helps her cheat or something. You know what I mean? Because she's promising them that sweet reality Total Divas money or something. Yeah. I'd rather have that than whatever the fuck it feels like they're going to do.
Well, it feels like, again, this is where I got so excited about AEW because I was telling people, like, look at Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin. Those are two distinct characters. And now you go over to WWE, and specifically in their women's division, what's the fucking difference between Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Lana, and now Eva Marie? What is the fucking difference between those four? Nothing.
Well, and then even Naomi, the only difference is like, oh, she glows.
Yeah, there's fucking no difference. They're all the same character. Fuck out of here. Anyhow, what were you saying? Fuck that.
Well, then I think we can transition out of the WWE NXT world.
Good.
We touched it, and we can get to what, we talked about blood and guts. We talked about, NXT, WWE, and now is a chance for you to chime in. And you can do that by going to Twitter, following us at Table Show. And as you're watching wrestling, whenever you're thinking about wrestling, whenever you're thinking about us, which I know is a lot of the times throughout the week,
thanks.
Use hashtag TweetTheTable, and we're going to read some of them on here. I picked out 4. I think Tom picked out something he didn't tell me about, and so I won't have graphics for you guys. I got graphics for some of you. I'll put up your name. You'll look cool. You can show your friends and family, friend/family. Maybe it's the same person. But Tom didn't tell me, so some of you aren't going to get that treatment because, you know what? Tom doesn't love you as much as I love the others, but it's neither here nor there. But you use hashtag TweetTheTable, and it's super fun because this is how you chime in with the Table Nation. This is how you get to meet new people. This is how you get to share your thoughts, and we can shit on them. It's great. Everybody has a fun time.
Love it.
Love it. Love it. By the way, we're on YouTube. Somebody shit on our YouTube comments. Over there, youtube.com/SpanishAnnounceTube. Check that out. If you're only listening to the audio podcast, you can be seeing our faces right now. And here we go. We're going to start with at Katie first. Lady, she says, post a video here of Roman Reigns' new entrance theme. And she says, about time. Still a little similar to the original, but this is an upgrade. Hashtag TweetTheTable. Thumbs up emoji.
Yeah, it was about time that we needed to retire the Shield theme. I think, again, if we ever get John Moxley coming back as Dean Ambrose and then we do Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, that music will hit harder because we haven't heard it, right? Or if we decided just to do Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, babyface, and we bring back that music, then it has a little bit more of a pop. And I like this music. It was more modern. It feels a little bit better for the character that he is. The, military thing didn't really fit with the head of the table, so I thought it was a really good move.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a better set of music for him. We'll move on. Yeah, we'll move on to at Devil Vamp. He says, a bit of a critique. Can we please get these camera shots correct? We didn't even have a shot of Santana going into the match. Come on, bro. Oh. We have done this for over 2 years now. Hashtag TweetTheTable. Hashtag AEW Blood and Guts. P.S. Also, the music is still too low.
What music?
I think he said since the beginning that their entrance music is not loud enough, and like the music that they play and stuff.
I did like, did you hear when Jurassic Express came out? That crowd was trying to sing along with Tarzan Boy. I love it. That was great. I cannot wait to go to an AEW show and sing along with
Tarzan Boy.
That's the name of the song.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I thought you were calling Jungle Boy.
No, no, that's the name of the song.
Okay, I got you.
So I honestly
no
don't
fact
know.
checks, goddammit.
Yeah, I like that song.
Right,
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know about the music. I won't. To me, it sounds fine, but if it doesn't sound to you, totally fine. We've talked though about the camera shots. Yeah, you gotta improve because if Santana's doing something fucking cool,
Well,
we're not gonna see it if you're not shooting it.
key point is what I have up behind us right now. So we do the spot with Jericho. We already said like the camera shot was sucked to get down there, but now in the melee, you've got the guy standing over the medics who are really checking on him, and he's got to like open his eye and talk to them while the guy's got a fucking zoom in close up of his face over here. Like guys, you got you know what I mean? Like you can't zoom in while he's like, "No, I'm all right. Just feel like I gotta take a shit. Can we wrap this up?"
Yeah. My leg hurts. That's about it. Yeah.
Goddamn.
You got to work on it. Now, again, I don't know who these people are. Maybe they're former WWE guys or girls. And if that's the case, get your shit together. If they're new and Cody's taking a chance on a producer and stuff, we can be a little bit more patient, I guess. But again, this was probably your most seen Dynamite episode since the Shaq episode.
I think it had comparable numbers. I think it had like 1.1 million almost or something like that. Yeah.
And you can't be making rookie mistakes with not showing us what you should be showing us or showing us stuff you shouldn't be showing us. So I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff, Devil Vamp. Good stuff. All right, let's move into at Hallmark of Swede. He says, #TweetTheTable. I said several years ago that Rusev will never be my cup of tea, and I'm here today to tell you that I was right. Miro, on the other hand, is a tea I can drink all day. I'm so excited to watch him murder Darby Allin. I mean, that's what he promised to do.
He will.
Again, he will. He promised. Yeah. I believe Miro when he says he's going to do something. I don't doubt that Miro's going to do it.
They should have done next week's match on last week's episode because we're going to probably see Darby Allin's blood and guts.
It's good.
Hey,
good.
Now that we're on Sean Spears, first off, hopefully you're recovering well, but he also sent another.
He sent several.
But he sent a hashtag tweet the table that I wanted to read on the episode that I did not prepare you for. So
yes, okay, all right.
Let me take over for a quick second, and then I got a follow up as well.
Ooh, goddamn, Tom.
So
yeah, this is the people that Tom does not love as much as I love. To prepare you for graphics, he sprung this one on me, late minute edition. But more tweet the tables is always better than less tweet the tables.
Of course. And to Ash, who we'll hear a second here, I apologize. To Sean Spears, absolutely loved the match at Blood and Guts. So thankful for your work. But again, wanted to read your other tweet the table here. So it's hashtag tweet the table. Okay, so gun to your head. One WWE star and one AEW wrestler has to switch places, spot and all. Which ones and why? So that's the first one. I'll read the follow-up hashtag tweet the table from Ash Hendricks 92. He says, for me, it would be Reigns and Kenny because they are arguably the best workers in each company right now. Hashtag tweet the table. So we heard from Ash Hendricks. Hallmark gave us the question.
You mean Sean Spears?
Hashtag. What's that?
You mean Sean Spears?
Well, yes, but Sean Spears' Twitter account, Hallmark of Swede.
We know. Sean,
yes.
we know.
Sean,
we get it. We'd like you to just open up in a minute because then you can come on with QT Marshall next time, which QT, I promise next week.
We're going to get
you on there. But you and Sean can come on and, you don't have to hide behind this Hallmark of Swede thing. As fun as that is, All
right, so gun to your head. You're switching two guys, spot and all. Two girls, could be either, or a guy and a girl, I guess, because he didn't specify. Who you going with?
I'm going to put Shayna Baszler on AEW.
Ooh. Okay, I like that.
Now, moving over to WWE, I'm going to put Matt Hardy because fuck him and I don't want him on AEW anymore. Yes! Yes! Solved a great fucking problem. Thanks. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
I like it. Shayna Baszler to AEW would be pretty
I don't know.
badass.
I have to think a little longer if I was going to like pick somebody else. I was trying to think of a male that I might plug over, but I honestly I think that is part of the problem is WWE doesn't know how to tell the stories right now. So I don't know who I would pluck over here who's going to tell a better story over there.
Well,
I just don't know.
I got
who
your
do you
answer.
got? All right.
Yeah, I got your answer. And I actually did a TikTok about this. So head over to our TikTok page.
You TikToked?
I TikToked this.
All right.
I posed the question and also
Old man
answered.
TikToks. Yes.
So thank you, Sean Spears. For
That is a promise
asking-
we give you. We will give you old man TikToks. We'll give you old man tweets. We'll give you
Yep.
this podcast. We give you lots of stuff. So go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net, hit that donate button, hit the merch button, buy something. All the other links, all the social media's up there. Check it out. You can watch the videos. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Come
Anyway,
on.
You were saying it.
All right, so here you go. Perfect. This is the perfect switch. And again, I did TikTok. If you want to check that out, please do. But here you go. I am taking, because to your point, WWE does not know how to tell a story. But there is one character they've been trying to get over for as long as they've been in a company, and that is the Cowboy. They've tried with the Blackjacks. They've tried with JBL as a heel and a babyface.
But do they know this cowboy? that you're
So
about to say?
I'm taking over, because he can do all the modern moves, I'm taking Hangman Adam Page, the Cowboy, over to WWE because that is the most ready-made character for WWE storytelling. They can do things with the Cowboy because they fucking love cowboys. So so Hangman Adam Page is going.
They're going to make him Bart Gunn Jr.
They might. But it'll be fun because he can do something with it.
The new Brawl for All.
So I'm taking Hangman Adam Page over to WWE.
Okay. Bad
Now,
decision.
Very good
Ruined
decision.
his career.
No, he's going to be making way more money.
True that.
Now, over on the AEW side, let's take a quick look at the tippy top 1% of their card, right? The top guys of the top guys of the top guys.
FTR?
You got FTR in the tag team division.
Top guys.
You got the Young Bucks, right? You got.
Oh, yeah. Should have sent them to WWE.
Yeah. Do you think they've wrestled there before?
I think I'd rather watch Matt Hardy than the Young Bucks.
So, okay. So then you got Kenny Omega. You got Cody. If we didn't switch them, we got Hangman Adam Page. We got Chris Jericho. We got Christian. What am I naming? What do all 7 of these guys have in common?
WWE?
No, they're fucking white.
Oh, yeah. I didn't catch all 7 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last ones you were, yeah. Yeah, they're all white. Yeah, okay.
They're
so
all white guys.
Okay, so who are we taking?
So we need some diversity.
Who are you bringing?
I'm taking over the most charismatic, almost going to be the next guy
Big
in
E.
the industry. I'm taking Big E, and I'm putting him over in AEW.
Big E's a great decision. Yeah, because my mind started going, I was like, is it Bobby? But he's just not. He's
No.
good, but he's not
He's
he's not gonna take over the world over there. But Big E could. Big E could
Big
get into
E
some
can
cool
do
stuff.
anything you want. You want him to do yucks and shit with Young Bucks? He can do that. You want him to get serious with Miro? He can do
Dark
that.
Order stuff would be
Dark Order, yeah. We need some diversity in AEW. Obviously, we've got Scorpio Sky, but he's still mid-card. I'm saying for the good of the company, Big E to AEW and Hangman Adam Page to WWE.
I like that. All right, Tom, I'm going to round these Tweet the Tables off with a brand new one as far as I can tell. So this is going to be fun. This is from at TamLynn48. Your name is Tammy Lynn. It says, hashtag Tweet the Table. All the hard work the 10 men brought to have Guevara submit for Jericho on the Inner Circle's behalf. Weak finish. I mean, I get what they're saying there, and we discussed earlier. If you didn't check, or if you didn't catch it yet, Tammy Lynn. We hope there's some ways they go with that maybe make more sense. But I agree, it was a kind of a weak finish.
I think it made it even a little bit more of a dud because we didn't hear the pain in his voice or the fear from Jericho potentially dying or whatever.
And like I said, afterwards they were like, ah, damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. Instead of like, oh my God, you killed Chris.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? Right.
It should have been on a mic. We should have heard Sammy maybe pleading with MJF or saying why Jericho means so much to him. Not in like a big dialogue, but you know what I mean? Like, no, that's our leader, all those kind of things. Yeah, it could have been made better with a microphone and a back and forth between MJF, who would just be yelling, but then Sammy on the mic saying, please don't, please don't. So yeah. I agree.
All right. Well, I think this was it, Tom. I had a blast here talking about some blood and some guts and some violence and the tweet the tables. Hashtag tweet the table. Thank you so much. That was really fun. That was really fun. And you should go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net. Check out all of our social media links up there. The podcast link. Subscribe to the audio podcast if you ain't got time to watch the shows. But we put up clips of it. If you don't want to watch it all the way through, you can always check our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. That helps us, honestly. If you're going to help us in any way and you don't want to buy merch, you don't want to donate because you know what I mean, funds are low or whatever, I get a pandemic and whatnot. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest ways you can help us out right now, any accounts you've got, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us, watch the videos, let them play in the background or whatever. Anything that gets us views and likes is a big help for us right now as we're trying to build that. So anything you can do to help us out is great. And hit us up with hashtag #TweetTheTable. We want to speak to you, the Table Nation. Because we want to know, man. We want to know what your thoughts on it because sometimes we're wrong.
Well, and sometimes we get hypotheticals of trades that would never happen but would in our world. So we love it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what else to say, Tom, other than fucking yay violence.
Yay violence!
The Spanish